I have just as big of a forehead as Ash Blossom. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Batu. Welcome back to the channel. And yes, I am a meta sheep. And today I'm going to be showcasing you guys my Evil Twin Spright deck. Now, I tested this at locals for about 2 weeks. I didn't win. I always got top 2. And unfortunately, for some reason, every time I get to the last game, I end up breaking hard. And my opponent just gets all the hand traps they need to stop my gameplay. But I wanted to at least show my deck profile to get your folks as the community's advice on what I can do to upgrade this deck for the upcoming format. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like, hit that sub, and don't forget to let me know what you think about this deck, because I honestly really love the feedback. It also just improves us as a community. So become a link today, join the link boys and girls. And yeah, let's get right into this Spright Evil Twin deck. So first, I wanted to talk about why I decided to play the Live Twin Evil Twin strategy alongside the Spright engine. Originally in the OCG, they played the Live Twin Spright engine because the Live Twins are obviously level 2s, and they actually bring out big monsters that have great effects. You have cards like Evil Twin Lilla, who destroys a monster, Kisa Kill, who draws a card, and Trouble Sunny, which basically revives both the Link twins. And with the Spright engine, you're adding an additional engine on top of the current Evil Twin engine. So it was a very popular deck back in the OCG. So what I ended up doing was I adapted one of the lists into a more of an TCG style version of the deck. Now, I believe this deck is about 45 cards. I might be wrong, but I wanted to show it to you guys because some of you guys are curious, want to play Sprites with Evil Twins. I know there's not a lot of deck profiles. A lot of people are actually opting more for the pure Spright, which I totally understand, but I at least wanted to show you guys the live Evil Twin version. So here is the deck profile. Now take this deck profile with a grain of salt, because I will be continually upgrading this deck every time I play with it. I really love the Live Twin engine, as you can tell, so I'm going to keep working on this. I do enjoy the deck and I do love how it plays. So here we go with my deck profile. Of course, we're going to start with 3 copies of Live Twin Kisa Kill, and you can't have Kisa Kill without her twin sister, 3 copies of Live Twin Lilla. Essentially, both these 2 Live Twin monsters are your instant starters, because normal summoning one of the twins allows you to special summon the other twin from the deck. So if you're going to be summoning Kisa Kill, then you automatically special summon Lila. Now, why does the Spright engine work the best is if the Kisa Kill or the Lila do get negated, you're actually going to be able to continuously play, because the Spright monsters are allowed to special summon themselves to the field as long as you control a level 2 monster. I also run the 2 different extenders for the Evil Twin strategy. So it's going to be 1 Lila Tree and 1 Kisa Kill Frost. Now, the graveyard effects don't really come up that often, but most likely you'll use Kisa Kill Frost's effect, banishing herself for cost to draw an additional card, giving you a +1 advantage. And in this deck, I am also deciding on playing the Live Twin Big Monster, the Evil Twins Kisa Kill and Lilla. This is mainly so I can win for game. And that is essentially all these Live Twin monsters. It's the standard lineup, but we're removing 1 copy of Frost and essentially just having it all the same here. For the Spright engine, you automatically have to play 3 copies of Spright Blue. Spright Blue, other than allowing itself to special summon to the field, allows you to add a Spright monster from the deck. And for that reason, I'm grabbing 2 copies of Spright Jet. Now, honestly, I would play this at 3, but because my deck is so big at this point, I'm running it at 2 just in case. I do wish I could run 3, and in the future when I do upgrade this deck or change it around, I will possibly run this back at 3. But essentially, when Spright Jet is special summoned to the field, I can add a Spright Speller Trap. For the rest of the Spright engine, I'm running 2 copies of Spright Red as well as 2 copies of Spright Carrot. Essentially, they're just here for additional extension. In terms of tech cards, I am running the 1 copy of Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. Now, you guys are wondering, why are you going to be running this card? Corruptor Ibli does come in the clutch in the grind game, especially if you know your opponent doesn't have any link monsters. So if you normal summon your Nightmare Corruptor Ibli and you have one of the Evil Twin link monsters in the graveyard, you could bring it out and link it up. So essentially, Corruptor Ibli herself is a big garnet for the opponent, because when she's used for a link summon, you can summon her to the opponent's side of the field, and they have to use her as link material because your opponent will be stuck to only linking her off. Lastly, I'm running 1 more copy of Artifact Scythe. This is one of my big contingency points because I honestly feel that this card is not really essential anymore. Because the Spright engine automatically locks you to link 2 level 2 rank 2s depending on what monsters you use from the extra deck. So honestly, I might cut this card in the future, but it has come up often. Mainly because if I can't get access to the Spright engine, I'm able to go into the Evil Twin engine and then have my Sunny Snitch tribute itself for cost, then using Lila and Kiss the Kill to destroy my Scythe, as well as give me a +1 advantage. Then my opponent is essentially locked out of the extra deck through the effects of Artifact Scythe. And that is the main monsters in the main deck. For the hand trap monsters, of course you have to run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is the most essential hand trap of the format. And 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Now, I use Effect Veiler here, but I've been having issues trying to get my Effect Veiler out, so I might change this into Psy-Frame Gear Gamma in the future. So 2 Psy-Frames and 1 driver, but it does come helpful here, and it is not a hard once per turn, so I still think Effect Veiler has its place. For the spells, we're going to go right to the Evil Twin Live Twin engine. We're running their triple copies of Live Twin Sunny Snitch. If you don't know what Sunny Snitch does, when you activate this card, you get to add a Live Twin monster from your deck. And then every time your opponent summons a monster, as long as you control an Evil Twin monster, your opponent will take 200 points of damage while you gain 200 life points. So this does come up in the clutch in time, and of course we Evil Twin players love it because it saves our booties so many times. I'm also running 2 copies of Secret Password. Secret Password is here for us to get our Sunny Snitch and is one of the best ways to bait out Ash Blossom. So I'm running it at 2. In a future build, I may run this at 3, but right now it's still in the testing phases here. Then for Spright Land, I'm just running 3 copies of Spright Starter because this is going to let me grab my Spright card, special summon it, but I take damage. But on top of that, it locks me out of rank 2s, so I could only do rank 2s, level 2s, and link 2s. So that's the only garnet with this card, but because the majority of my engine is rank 2, link 2, level 2s, it's all fine with me. I'm also running 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet because we have so many ways to get to discard fodder, but honestly I don't like to run this card in an engine where all my cards are the starters, so I might drop this for Forbidden Chalice, but Droplet still has its thing, so I'm still gonna keep running the Droplet. I'm also running 3 copies of Crossout Designator because the Evil Twin and the Spright engines can run these blowout spell and traps. Then I'm also running the 1 copy of Upstart Goblin to give me the +1 advantage, as well as 1 copy of Call by the Grave because it is standard in this format. And the last thing, I'm running 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. It is again another standard in this deck and in this current format as of right now. For the extra deck, I'm going to start with the Xyz monsters. I'm running 2 copies of Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright is one of the integral parts for your engine because you'll be able to detach 2 and special summon a level 2 monster from the extra deck. This also locks both players from special summoning monsters higher than Link 2, Rank 2, or Level 2. So a lot of people are going to try to hit this card as much as possible. So that's why we have to run so many different hand traps, mainly Cross Out Designator and Call by the Grave to hopefully save the Gigantic Spright. This is actually one of the big issues with the Spright deck that a lot of people have been noticing. I know a lot of people in my locals, since I am the only person that plays Spright, they know this is the card to hit. Unfortunately, I have to play around it by more securely going into my live twin engine first before I go right into the Gigantic Spright. So yes, this is a point of contingency for this deck. I'm also running one copy of Sky Cavalry Centuria. I could change this to Vision Buster, Cat Shark, or Omnivore Sweeper. I like Centuria because I'm going for game most of the time, but I really don't use the Xyz monsters too often, so it's just there just to be there, as well as my one copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. One of the big issues that people keep forgetting is when they get Gigantic Spright and they use the effect to special summon from the deck, they keep forgetting that they're locked out, so they can't rank up automatically to Zeus, so downer to Zeus. So if you're in your locals, someone's playing Spright and they automatically rank up to Divine Arsenal AA Zeus after using the effect of Gigantic Spright, you could actually get your opponents on that, and your judge will have to agree because it's the true facts. For the Link monsters, we have to run 2 copies of Spright Elf. This allows us to actually special summon level 2s from the graveyard, so I like this card a lot. And there's a sweet tech with the Spright Elf and IP Masquerena, who is in this deck, so I really like Spright Elf here. Next up is the Evil Twin package. So I'm only running 2 Evil Twin Kisako, 2 Evil Twin Lila, and 2 Evil Twins Trouble Sunny. So as much as I would like to maximize on these main core cards, I can't because of the limit on the extra deck. If you're playing pure Evil Twins, link in the description or right above here for that deck profile, you would be running 3 Kisako, 2 Lila, and triple Trouble Sunnies. But because we are running the Spright engine, it's very difficult for us to get into Trouble Sunny. So your end board will most likely just have these 2 guys, these 2 guys on the field. It's the best thing you can do, but that's okay because we have a spicy tech in this deck. For the rest of the extra deck monsters, I am running IP Masquerena, Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, and Access Code Talker. So you can instantly tell that my goal is to link climb, and that's very obvious because I personally do enjoy link decks. And I believe the IP Masquerena and the Mech Knight combo do come in clutch because your opponent has to use card effects on the Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, and link climbing to this using IP, making a Crusadia Avramax invulnerable, is one of the biggest brain plays that you can make. And you could actually get into access code pretty quickly in this deck, just as long as you don't use the Spright effects, so that would be Gigantic as well as Spright Elf, and you mainly stick with the live twin engine. But these 3 cards I believe are the big blowouts of this deck. This deck is slated to change because obviously I want to win. So I'm gonna still keep running with this deck and see how far I can make. So guys, it's really integral. Don't forget to comment below what you think I could make changes with into the deck. So before I signed off on this video, I at least wanted to show you guys that live twin Mech Knight Crusader Avramax link climb play that apparently is legal, but you guys can tell me if it's not. And of course, I want to build a community where we can all learn from each other. So here we go with that combo. So sometimes you'll get to a board where your Spright Elf is in your extra monster zone. You'll have your IP Masquerena and your Evil Twin Kisako on the board. What I would do in this standard is, if it is my opponent's turn, I'm going to link climb my IP using my IP's effect, link climb IP with Spright Elf to make our Mekk-Knight Crusader Avramax. Then I could trigger my Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill to bring out Lila. And because I already control the Kiss-a-Kill, I can use Lila's effect to destroy the monster my opponent summoned. Of course, we want to hit the card that our opponent normal summons. So that's essential to this combo. Now, IP automatically makes Avramax invulnerable, and every monster or effect has to hit Avramax first. So IP really just makes this Avramax in Giant Tower Man. So let me know if that combo is legal. Honestly, I'm not too sure. That's why I'm asking your folks' help, and we are building a Link community, so let's get right to it. But yes, this is my Spright Evil Twin Live Twin deck. There are a lot of changes that I know I'm going to be making, especially and mainly towards consistency. But in the end of the day, I wanted to at least show this, that way we can work on it and we can call this the best deck NA. But anyway, my boys and Link gals, my name is Batu. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the Link side. Wave out.